So sorry, so sorry, so sorry, so sorry. I didn't know my microphone was muted. So sorry about that. Thank you for calling my attention, Engineer Shoibu. All right. So I was trying to say that this section, we are going to be looking at corporate level strategy. We've just concluded on business level strategy, which dealt more on the internal strategies businesses need to be able to stand above the competition in their industry. Now, the corporate level strategy has to do with dealing with high level decisions in the organization. Okay, high level decisions within the organization. And I could actually refer to corporate level strategy as more like corporate governance. Okay, and that's what we're going to be looking at in this section. By objectives, we are going to look at defining the corporate level strategy, highlighting the key components of corporate level strategy, enumerating the types of corporate level strategy, reviewing examples of corporate level strategy, elucidating the step-by-step guide to developing corporate level strategy, then explaining the key organizational strategies for growth and expansion. Then we look at measuring the significance of sustainability and CSR, and then we'll look at summarizing the effective strategies for sustainability and CSR. Please, I trust you could hear me now. Please, if you can hear me, kindly type 11 in the chat room. If you can hear me loud and clear, please kindly type 11 in the chat room. Let me be sure you can hear me. If you can hear me, kindly type 11 in the chat room, please. All right, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Okay, so let's move on. By definition. Okay, Barrister Gabe has returned back to class. Okay. By definition of corporate level strategy, corporate level strategy is the overarching plan. That's like the totality of the plan that guides an organization's activities and decisions at the highest level. At the highest level, no longer at the business level. When we talk about business level, I want us to understand the people involved in the business level. The people involved in the business level will have the heads of department, will have the heads of units, supervisors, let's say the middle level officers, okay? And in some organizations, directors who are heads of organization or heads of departments are also part of the business level strategy. But when we come to the corporate level strategy, we are looking at top management. So here we look at the board of directors, we look at the board of advisors, we look at the senior management, the people that have the ability to make the highest level of decision in the organization. All right, so it determines the scope of the business and how it creates value across the business units or the divisions that exist in the corporate organization. Now, the key components of corporate level strategy: diversification, number one, deciding whether to enter new markets or industries. It is not the business level people that make this decision of diversification. It is the people at the corporate level, the board of directors. It is the senior management that take that decision. Okay, this can be through related diversification, that's expanding into related industries, or unrelated diversification, entering into unrelated industries. Now, if I give us the privilege, I'm sure we will have a whole lot of organizations to give instances about. Take, for instance, in Nigeria, when you say Globacom, the only thing we know about Globacom is telecommunication. But do you know that Globacom has other products that is not telecommunication, or that are not in telecommunication? It's just in recent times that I discovered that Globacom actually has, is it Corn Oil? They are the owners of Corn Oil. They are the owners of Cool FM. And they have other international brands. Now, what they've done is that they established these products as brands. So people see them as brands rather than being owned by one thing. And this is also the significance of branding. When you have good branding, people focus on the brand and not on just the organization. Okay, not just on the organization. One of the difference between Dangote and people like Globacom and MTN is branding, effective branding. Every product associated to Dangote, you will know that this product is Dangote's product. Okay, so it's more like a unification kind of approach, a consolidation kind of approach. But when you look at MTN, all of their different brands, okay, they have different products termed in terms of brands. So their diversification most often might be unrelated. Okay, so Globacom went from Glo to, or went from telecommunication to oil and gas to media, and yet we didn't know that they are the owners. MTN went from telecommunication to electricity, solar power, to financial services, Momo, and yet most of us don't know that MTN is the owner of Momo. MTN is the owner of some solar powered, I've forgotten what they call that, that solar solution. Okay, but some of us have them in our houses. Okay, and before my attention was called that the microphone was not on, I was trying to give an instance of when I worked with UAC Nigeria. UAC Nigeria, they are the producers of gala. That's the one we know them. If you say UAC, we just know gala. Okay, that's the only thing we know, especially in Nigeria. But what if I told you that UAC has more than 10 products in Nigeria? Apart from gala, how many of us know that UAC, they are the owners of Mr. Biggs? They are the owners of Supreme Ice Cream. They are the owners of Delight Beverages. Now they've also diversified to veterinary products. So you have UAC food, UAC for dogs, like they make foods for dogs, for livestock, and the likes of them. UAC also have the arm of UAC that produces vegetable oil, okay, and other food items. Okay, now the one that will shock you most is if I told you that UAC is also into logistics. The truth is, when UAC came into Nigeria, UAC didn't come into Nigeria for food. UAC came into Nigeria as a logistics company. But with time, they were able to diversify into different aspects. What if I tell you that UAC is also into real estate? Okay, so they have diversified into a whole lot of things. Okay, into a whole lot of things. So when we are drafting portfolios, when we do portfolio drafting, we should be able to create a portfolio that can easily allow for diversification. Okay, we should be able to create portfolios that can allow for diversification, whether it is diversification to related or unrelated products. Okay, in Nigeria, we have, for instance, the Dangote Group. Dangote is virtually in everything, every industry. Okay, they started with food. In fact, they said Dangote started with salt, and then he went to sugar, and then he went to cement, and then he went to production of food products like spaghetti, macaroni, indomie, and they also into beverages. Dano, okay, you have Dangote products in the Dano element, and then they went into refinery, okay, and the whole lot of things we don't know. And I hope you also know that Dangote has a school. Dangote has a business school. I think it's in Kano, Dangote Business School. And Dangote also has a foundation. So we should consider diversification as a very critical way to multiply our business, increase our business. When you are building a brand, build a brand that should promote other products that you want to get into. That's what I'm trying to say. Okay, build a brand that will allow for diversification. Number two is vertical integration, choosing the extent to which the organization will control its supply chain, including backward integration towards suppliers or forward integration towards customers. Then you have the geographic expansion, expanding operations into new geographical regions or countries. And then you have the portfolio management, managing the collection of business units or divisions to optimize overall performance and resource allocation. So these are the things that the corporate level handles. Then still on the types of corporate level strategies, we still have the low cost leadership like we have in the business level strategy. We still have the differentiation, but now we have other things like global expansion strategies. Global expansion strategies, expanding operations internationally to access new markets and resources. In current reality, okay, I think the last class we'll be dealing with is strategic management in global context. We will look at that. Some of the things that used to be challenges maybe 50 years ago, even 20 years, 10, 20 years ago, technology disruptions have removed them to becoming challenging. So when we want to deal with international expansion or global expansion today, you might not be needing as much resource as you would have needed 20, 30 years ago. For instance, IPM going into executive education, our focus is not just Nigeria, our focus is not just Africa, our focus is on the globe. Okay, our focus is on the globe, and we don't need to have physical presence across all the states, across all the nations of the globe before we could say we are international. No, it's just for us to know the approach, the right cost-effective approach that will generate the results. So we all need to also consider our businesses in the same light. No matter the level your business is right now, or maybe no matter the level your concept or your idea is right now, one of the things you must not do is to just localize that and not think global. There is this saying, start small, but think global. Okay. Another corporate level strategy is mergers and acquisitions. At some level, you might not be able to acquire, but you might be able to merge. So know what is the best approach for you per time. At some time, the mergers may be internal merger, not necessarily external merger. So take, for instance, let's say Dangote Salt, Dangote Sugars can decide to merge together to form a stronger organization. Okay, and then for more effectiveness and efficiency, that's internal measures. But acquisition has to do with the external. Okay, so you may have to go beyond what you own to start looking at what others own. So you have the measures of Diamond Bank, Access Bank. Okay, that's a good measure. You have Paystack and Stripe. That's a good measure. Then you have acquisitions. Okay, acquisitions like Facebook to WhatsApp acquisition, or WhatsApp to Facebook acquisition, Instagram to Facebook acquisition. Those are acquisitions. Okay, all right. Growing through the acquisition of other companies, example, Facebook acquisition of Instagram, all right? Benefit of corporate level strategy. Number one, synergy, achieving economies of scale and scope by coordinating activities across business units. Risk management, diversifying across industries or regions can reduce risks exposure. Then resource allocation, efficiently allocating resources to the most promising business units. This is also very, very good. Challenges in implementing corporate level strategy, you have integration issues, ensuring that diverse business units work together effectively. The integration issues can also be in terms of acquisition, in terms of mergers, integrating the merging and integrating the acquisition. Those could form issues. Okay, in terms of mergers, the issues could come with who should be in charge of the corporate leadership, who should be at what position, who should be handling what. Okay, leadership tussle. Then you have resource allocation dilemma, allocating resources fairly and efficiently across different units. Now, guide to developing a corporate level strategy. Number one, define your mission, vision, and values. This is very, very important. Of course, if you look at what we did in business level strategy, the first step was for us to define our target market, define our customers, because that's what our assignment is in the business level. Our primary assignment in the business level is to develop products and services that satisfy the customers in our market. But at the corporate level, we set the mission, we set the vision, and we set the values. And those are the things that the business level run with. So the corporate level is responsible for defining the mission, the vision, and the values. So begin by reaffirming or revisiting your organization's mission statement, its core purpose, vision, its long-term aspiration, and values, its guiding principles. This provides the foundation for your corporate strategy. Number two, conduct a SWOT analysis. Analyze your organization's internal strengths and weaknesses and external opportunities and threats. This helps you understand your current position, identify areas for improvement and growth. Set clear objectives, establish clear, specific, and measurable objectives for your corporate strategy. This should align with your mission and vision and address key areas identified in the SWOT analysis. Identify growth opportunities. Explore different avenues for growth, such as market expansion, product diversification, mergers and acquisitions, strategic partnerships, or international expansion. Consider which opportunities align with your strengths and objectives. I always advise, I have, this is a personal bias anyway, okay? I always advise us Try as much as you can to own a business, register a business, all right? And find the most strategic way to handle the business, even if you are currently employed in an environment that may not allow you to run the business yourself. Find the most appropriate way to start setting your foundations right. Now, why am I saying this? When you set a business, the platform you are currently occupying becomes a springboard. It becomes a springboard for you. Okay. And my advice most often is find the areas of possible collaboration with your current organization. So let's say your organization is into banking, for instance. You could start an organization that provides consulting, maybe in the areas of HR, in the areas of strategy, in the areas of project management. Okay, now what are you doing? Yes, you are going to use that platform to promote your organization, but not you directly. You could find partnerships, you could find people who can work with you, but you have to find the opportunities for that organization you're building. That becomes part of the experience of the organization. And then with time, even if you retire tomorrow and say, okay, you want to focus on your main assignment, it will be easier for you to find opportunities. Don't wait till you retire before you start a business. That's what I'm trying to say in a nutshell. Now that you are in the corporate world, you already identified the opportunity that exists, starting from your organization. Use leverage on your organization to begin to grow your own abilities, grow your own opportunities. My mentor, Dr. Larry Phillips, I said it yesterday, so in the next 7 days, he should be retiring. But he has his consulting firm. There's something he told me. He said he has built a whole lot of networks. So what he wants to do is to use his to solidify on the consulting angle using the networks he has built. So for every company he has worked with, his current organization now, his own company has been consulting for them through training, through strategy sessions, and the whole lot. So even if he retires and say, okay, he wants to have more time to himself and do what he likes doing, he will earn more money, he will earn more respect, he will earn more honor, he will have more impact. I hope you're getting what I'm trying to say. So identifying opportunities for growth, while you're identifying for your organization, also identify the possible areas. You know the super areas in your organization now that if you have a way of bringing in someone, you can bring in someone. So why don't you bring in your own organization and start from there first? I don't know whether you're getting what I'm saying. And it's not, you might feel I'm giving you a bad idea, but I don't think that's just my personal bias. Okay, so you can find a way to deal with that. Number 5, portfolio analysis. If your organization operates multiple business units or product lines, assess their individual performance. Use tools like the Boston Consulting Group matrix or the McKinsey 9 boss matrix to determine which area to invest in, divest from, or maintain. Okay. If your organization, let me just say 1 or 2 things again before I move on. If your organization runs a portfolio-based organization, if your organization is a portfolio-based organization, they have different units, they have different branches. Maybe in your organization, you have the medical, you have banking, you have insurance, you have registrars, you have logistics, you have telecom, and all of that. You could actually look at that in totality and find out which area you think you may wish to consult when you retire from the organization. I don't have intention of retiring like my mentor, because him retiring is retiring from paid job to focusing on what he wants to do. So I've never been on a paid job in a long time. So me, I don't have intention of retiring. I just want to keep doing what I'm doing, but just keep improving on it. All right. But more of the things we have to do is before you retire, make sure you made the most profitable use of the platforms you have right now. Every employment opportunity you have is a platform for your own future growth. I just want you to get that. Okay, build the most profitable networks. Find a way to get your organizations inside. Don't say I did not tell you. Start consulting before you leave that organization. Okay, start consulting before you leave the organization. Okay, so let me give you a simple way to run this. So you could start a business. Listen to me. You could start a business, a limited liability company, or whichever one you want. Okay, and then you are going to be part of the board of directors, inevitably. But you're not going to serve as the MD CEO. So find someone who is going to keep up for you, who is going to represent you as the MD CEO for the time being, pending when you're going to retire, and then take up your full role as the MD CEO of your own organization. If you have organizations that run portfolios, then when you're registering your organization, that will give you a clue on the kind of services or the kind of products you are willing to delve into. My bias anyway. Number 6, choose a corporate strategy. Select a corporate level strategy that aligns with your objectives and growth opportunities. Common corporate level strategies include your growth strategy to expand by increasing market share, entering new markets, or launching new products or services. Diversification strategy, entering new markets or industries to reduce risk and tap into new revenue streams. Vertical integration strategy, controlling more stages of the supply chain to improve efficiency and reduce cost. Global expansion strategy, expanding internationally to access new markets and customers. Stability strategy, maintaining current operations without significant changes. Retrenchment strategy, reducing costs and divesting from non-core assets or underperforming units. Turnaround strategies, reorganizing and revitalizing underperforming parts of the organization. Number 7, develop implementation plans. For each chosen strategy, create detailed implementation plans. These should include specific actions, timelines, resource allocations, and performance metrics. Number 8, allocate resources. Determine the financial and human resources required to execute your strategy successfully. Ensure that resources are allocated efficiently and effectively. Monitor and measure progress. Establish key performance indicators to track the progress of your corporate strategy. Regularly review and adjust your strategy based on performance data and changing market conditions. Note, developing a corporate level strategy is an ongoing process that requires flexibility, adaptability. By aligning your strategy with your mission and vision, analyzing your internal and external environment, and choosing the right growth opportunities, you can position your organization for long-term success and sustainability. Before I go to the next slide, last week, it was just Wednesday, and we had the workshop on structured entrepreneurship development. There is this canker worm in Africa. When we say entrepreneurship, people feel uncomfortable when that word comes. Some people might say entrepreneurship is like you're trying to drag them to poverty. To some people, when you say entrepreneurship, is all about struggling. In Nigeria, they say it's hustling. So if you say entrepreneurship is more like it's about hustling. If you say entrepreneurship is more like me, myself, and I kind of thing. And that is the cankerworm that has dealt with Africa in our entrepreneurial journey. Entrepreneurship is not self-employment. I just need you to understand that. Self-employment is not entrepreneurship. Entrepreneurship is a holistic approach to national development. There is no nation that can develop without entrepreneurship. And in Nigeria, we've made it worse. Okay? I was listening to one speaker, and he said he didn't know where they got this concept of MSMEs. He said, why is it that in Africa we talk about MSMEs, but in other parts of the world we talk about businesses? They rather call startup businesses than call small businesses. So in Nigeria, and Africa, we are limiting ourselves by the kind of mindset we are creating. Okay, so where am I going to? I want you listening to me now to embrace entrepreneurship wholeheartedly, not as self-employment approach, but a broader approach to dealing with national issues. Okay, dealing with national issues, dealing with global issues. Okay, I just want us to look at that and let it be beyond me, myself, and I. Let it go on the global scale. If we're able to get that, if we're able to have the long-term range, the long-term view of whatever thing we want to achieve, if we want to look at the long-term perspective of it, we are much more balanced. So entrepreneurship is a long-term perspective to problem solving for economic gains. That is entrepreneurship. Long-term perspective to problem solving for economic gains. That is entrepreneurship. Long-term perspective to problem solving for economic gains. That is entrepreneurship. And when I say long-term perspective, I don't mean you being on it till you die. That's what I mean. Long-term perspective, look at it on a global scale. Okay, how can the problem I am identifying go beyond my bedroom, go beyond my street, go beyond my nation, go beyond my continent, and then get to the globe? That's what we're talking about. You must consciously, all of us must consciously realign our mindset towards global perspectives on any problem identified. It will shock you to know that the problem we are facing in Africa, people in America are facing it also. It will shock you to know that problems we are facing in Africa, people in Germany are facing it also. So why do we want to localize it? One of the difference between African entrepreneurship and the Western entrepreneurship is that to the Western entrepreneurship, they are looking at everything they can get on the global scale. Why in African entrepreneurship, we're just looking at what we can get from our immediate environment. Facebook traversed from wherever it is and is spread all over the world. WhatsApp traversed from wherever it is spread all over the world. DSTV traversed from wherever it is and is spread all over the world. But look at Dangote, the biggest company in Nigeria, is still struggling to escape from Africa. Is still struggling to move to other parts of the world. Because that is just the kind of mindset we were built to have. Okay, MTN went all the way from South Africa and is crushing almost all over Africa. But look at Globalcom. We are still struggling to move ahead. We are still struggling to move above Africa. In fact, we are still struggling to move above Nigeria because there are still places in Nigeria that Globalcom has not even got into. It's just the mindset, and we must break through those mindsets and position ourselves wide enough. We have University of Nigeria, University of Ibadan. Some of them don't do anything beyond Nigeria. But you and myself, we are in Africa struggling to study in Harvard, struggling to study whatever. And some of us, we even study from the comfort of our rooms. Now we pay thousands of dollars. Some of us pay hundreds of thousands of dollars. But we cannot export our own services. Why? Because of mindset. And this mindset has been pre-established even before before the pre-colonial times. It has been established. So we need to force ourselves to think beyond and see beyond. This is very, very important. And that is what corporate strategy is all about. Setting the mission, setting the vision, setting the core values. It is very, very important, and I need us to understand that. Examples of corporate level strategy, you have the Unilever diversification strategy. Unilever, a consumer goods company, has pursued a diversification strategy by entering multiple product categories such as food, home care, personal care, and beverages. This diversification has allowed them to spread risk and capture a wide range of customer needs. You have the General Electric conglomerate diversification strategy. GE has implemented a conglomerate diversification strategy by operating in various industries like aviation, healthcare, energy, finance. This strategy has enabled them to balance cyclical businesses and maintain a broad portfolio. Disney vertical integration strategy has embraced vertical integration strategy by owning content creation studios like Disney and Pizza, distribution like media networks like ABC and ESPN, and theme parks. This strategy helps Disney control its content and reach customers through various channels. Then you have the Samsung global expansion strategy. Samsung, the South Korea conglomerate, has successfully implemented a global expansion strategy. They have expanded their operation and products globally, becoming a dominant player in electronics, semiconductors, and more. Procter and Gamble and several others. So please, when you get this material, try and read these others. Key organizational strategies for growth and expansion. Growth and expansion are crucial for organizations for several compelling reasons, and strategic planning plays a pivotal role in achieving these objectives. The importance of organizational growth and expansion. So you have the increased market share. The importance is expanding into new markets or increasing the size of the existing customer base allows an organization to capture a larger market share. The strategic planning involved here helps identify growth opportunities in different markets and guides how the organization can enter or expand in those markets effectively. Number two, you have economies of scale. The importance here is that as organizations grow, they can benefit from economies of scale, which lead to cost reductions in production, distribution, and other operational areas. The strategic planning here assesses how growth can lead to economies of scale and outlines strategies to capitalize on cost advantages. They have the competitive advantage. Importance, growing and expanding can provide competitive advantage by allowing an organization to offer broader range of products or services, invest in innovation, and outperform rivals. The strategic planning here helps in identifying the organization's unique value proposition and how it can be leveraged during growth to stand out in the market. They have the diversification of risk. Importance here is expanding into different market or product lines, spread the risk. If one market or product faces a challenge, the overall impact on the organization is mitigated because the risk is diversified. Then you have the strategic planning here involve risk assessment and helps in developing a risk mitigation strategy for various growth scenarios. Another importance of organizational growth and expansion is access to new talent and resources. The importance is growth often necessitates hiring more talent and accessing additional resources which can enhance an organizational capabilities. The strategic planning outlines the workforce and resource requirement for expansion and ensures that the organization has the necessary infrastructure in place. They will have the profitability and sustainability. Importance here is that sustainable growth leads to increased profitability, which is essential for an organization's long-term survival and competitiveness. The strategic planning helps set growth targets and ensures that the organization's financial resources are allocated efficiently to achieve those targets. They have meeting stakeholder expectations. The importance here is that shareholders, investors, and other stakeholders often expect organizations to grow over time. Failing to do so can lead to dissatisfaction. The strategic planning here aligns organizational goals with stakeholder expectations, ensuring that growth strategies are in place. They will have innovation and adaptation. Importance here is that growth encourages organizations to innovate and adapt to changing market conditions, which is essential in today's rapidly changing or rapidly evolving business landscape. The strategic planning emphasizes the importance of innovation and help allocate resources to support research and development efforts. They have the market penetration. Okay, so here we'll now look at the key organizational strategies for growth and expansion. They will have the market penetration. The strategy is to focus. We have the market penetration strategy. So the strategy is to focus on selling more of your existing products or services to your current customer base or within your current market. That's on the corporate level. The implementation here offers promotions, loyalty programs, or improve sales and marketing efforts to capture a larger share of your existing market. The second strategy is the market development strategy, which expanding into new geographic regions or target new customer segments with your existing products or services. The implementation here will involve conducting market research to identify growth opportunities, adapt your offerings to local preferences, and establish distribution channels in new markets. They have the product or service development strategy, which will focus on creating new products or services to meet the new needs of your current customer base. The implementation will involve investing in research and development, gathering customer feedback, and innovating to introduce new offerings that complement your existing portfolio. Then we have the diversification strategy, which involves entering new markets or industries with new products or services that are all related to your current businesses. The implementation will involve acquiring or partnering with companies in the target industry and developing a separate business unit to manage the new venture. Okay. Then we have the horizontal integration strategy, which involves acquiring or merging with competitors or companies in related industries to expand your market share. The implementation here will involve identifying suitable acquisition strategies, acquisition targets, negotiating deals, and then integrating acquired companies into your operations. Then you have the vertical integration strategy, which involves controlling more of the supply chain by acquiring suppliers or distributors to reduce cost and improve efficiency. This is more of what Dangote does. Okay, so Dangote acquired his own logistics company. So it is Dangote Logistics that take care of the delivery of all Dangote products. Implementation here involves assessing opportunities for vertical integration, negotiating agreements, and optimizing the newly integrated operations. They have the franchising or licensing strategy, which involves expanding by allowing others to use your business model, brand, or product and services in exchange for fees or royalties. The implementation will involve developing a franchising or licensing program, establishing guidelines and standards, and providing training and support to franchisees and licensees. They have strategic alliances and partnerships. This will involve, the strategy will involve collaborating with other businesses, organizations to access new markets, technologies, or resources. The implementation will mean identifying potential partners, negotiating agreements, and establishing clear objectives and responsibilities for each party. Then you have the digital transformation strategy, which entails leveraging digital technologies to streamline operations, enhance customer experiences, and enter online markets. The implementation will involve investing in digital infrastructure, data analytics, e-commerce platforms, and digital marketing to drive growth through digital channels. Then we have the international expansion strategy, which will involve expanding operations beyond domestic borders to tap into international market. The implementation will involve conducting thorough market research, addressing regulatory and compliance issues, and then adapting your business model to suit international customers and culture. You have the innovation and research and development strategy, which focuses on fostering a culture of innovation to continuously develop new products, services, or processes. The implementation will involve allocating resources to research and development, encouraging employee creativity, and establishing innovation labs or teams. Then we have the customer-centric approach strategy, which prioritizes customer satisfaction and loyalty to retain existing customers and attract new ones. The implementation will involve investing in customer service, gathering feedback, personalizing offerings, and building strong customer relationship. Then we'll have the sustainability and corporate social responsibility strategy, which involves embracing sustainability and CSR initiative to attract environmentally and socially conscious customers and investors. Implementation will involve setting sustainability goals, reducing environmental impact, and engaging in socially responsible practices. Now, note, effective implementation of these strategies requires careful planning, resource allocation, and ongoing monitoring and adjustment to adapt to changing market conditions. It's important to align these strategies with your organizational missions, vision, and long-term goals to ensure sustained growth and expansion. Now, before I go to effective sustainability and CSR strategies, I would like to reiterate that the strategies we have listed here, we spoke about each strategy and also gave you the focus of implementation. So if I may advise, one of my important advice now is that please, when you get these materials, even if you don't want to print all, please, on these areas that you have the strategies and how the implementation should go, please, you can print those ones and keep them standby so that if you have strategies around those areas, maybe if you have to deal with marketing strategy, market penetration strategy, then you can know the kind of programs in terms of implementation you need to run If it is market development strategy, then you know the kind of implementation in terms of programs and projects you need to run. If it is product and service development, so we've given you different strategies and we've streamlined the kind of programs and projects and activities that need to be carried out for you to have that particular strategy to be effective for you. That's what we've done on key organizational strategies for growth and expansion. I don't know which one your organization might be in need of, but you could run through them and find out the ones that will be most impactful and most useful to your organization at the moment, and then focus on those implementation side, and then know what kind of project and programs and activities you may need to embark on. Now, before I move forward, I will take a 5 minutes break, and then when we come back, we'll continue. Please, 5 minutes, and then we'll be back. All right, we are welcome back. I trust we had a good 5 minutes. Before I proceed to effective sustainability and CSR strategy, which is still part of the corporate level strategy, did anything catch your attention in the discussions we've had so far, whether it's on guidelines to developing the strategy, or whether it's on the different kinds of the strategy itself, the corporate level strategy? Is it the key organizational strategies for growth? Which of the things that have been said so far on corporate level strategy got your attention? We should be rounding up in about 30 minutes. Okay, we should be rounding up in about 30 minutes. So the microphones are open. You can just open and give us a voice. Which of the things in corporate level strategy so far has gotten your attention? I believe we're all still together. Okay, if you can still hear me loud and clear and you're still connected, please kindly type 22 in the chat room. If you can still hear me loud and clear and you're very much connected, please kindly type 22 in the chat room. If you can hear me loud and clear, okay, thank you, Mr. Andrews. Who else is connected, please? If you're connected, please kindly type 22 in the chat room. Okay, so everyone is connected. Thank you for connecting. So what has gotten your attention in the corporate level strategy? What is it that has gotten your attention? The microphones are open. You can easily unmute and then give us a voice. Or you didn't understand the corporate level strategy at all? Okay. Okay, if you didn't understand this aspect, you can also say, okay, this one we did not understand it, or I did not understand it. Maybe we'll fix another class for it. Okay. Please, I'm waiting. I need feedback, please. Please, I need feedback. Okay, so Mr. Andrew said it was worth thinking. Okay, so Mr. Andrew, now, should I take that it is, well, maybe we'll go and read on it and then come back to discuss it. Okay, for the sake of time.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I think we'll go with that. You were so fast. It's the slide. I mean the content very rich, but you were in a hurry, and I'm sure you're doing that for our sake. You want to help us bit time so that we could go do what we're supposed to do. But then I look at this the corporate level strategy as being something that should be taken slow and steady for it to really sink. You understand? Because because it's huge. It's huge. It's huge. So we'll go back, take a look at it, and maybe when we meet next week, we could just do one or two, spend a few minutes, deliberate on it before we move ahead to what we're supposed to do next week, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much. I thank you for that simplicity. All right. I discovered that I was also fast. So more of what we've provided in the slides, they are like guidelines. They are more like practicals. They are things that when you read, you can apply. So I will open up I've been compiling the materials in a Dropbox so that when we are done, I could just release them. But for this particular one, I think it will be okay if we release it immediately so that we can read through. Now, on guidelines, we have been able to make it as simple as possible, but much more on the strategies themselves. Like I said earlier, on the strategies themselves, what we've done is that we've been able to identify different kinds of strategies needed for organizational growth and expansion. So whichever one the organization might be at the time, whichever one the organization might be at the time, or whatever level your organization might be at the time, you could just come here, simply pick out that particular strategy. Okay, is it strategy for market penetration? If it is market penetration, what do we need to do? We've already provided what needs to be done. So it's just to adapt it to your own organization. Is it product development or service development? We've also provided how to implement that, what you can do to get that done. Is it diversification? And all of these strategies, we have just created simple programs, simple projects that you can run to ensure that you get the results from each of them. Okay, so Barrister Gebb says, is he trying to understand portfolio management aspect, which catches his interest? So Dangote is still in his mind. Okay, so can we discuss portfolio management in a bit before we round up with effective sustainability? Because I think the highest level of corporate level strategy is on portfolio. Okay, corporate level strategy is focusing more on the organizational portfolio. So let's try and see if we can understand portfolio and then help assess this one. When businesses divest, one of the primary essence of diversifying is to build portfolio. And using Dangote as example, Dangote has Dangote Salt, which is a company on its own. It has Dangote Sugar Refineries, which is a company on its own. Dangote Noodles, which is a company on its own. Dangote Beverages, which is a company on its own. What he has done is to identify different industrial segments that he can provide value in. So when an organization has investment across industries or within industries, so we could have portfolios built internally, like the horizontal portfolios we talk about, or the horizontal integrations. Portfolios can be built internally within an industry. So for instance, Dangote Salt, Dangote Sugar, Dangote Noodles, Dangote Beverages, all of them are within the food industry. So that is an internal portfolio within the industry. The higher your internal portfolio, the higher your market share in that particular industry. And that makes your dominant effect also higher. Now, when you go across industry, for instance, from food industry, Dangote went to will I say, building and construction industry. Okay, so we have the Dangote Cement. Remember that Dan Tata and Sowe is also a conglomerate of Dangote and his uncle now what? So we could actually say Dangote is actually into construction. And then you have the Dangote Cement, that is in the construction industry. So that is a portfolio across industry, from food industry to construction. Then you also have the Dangote Logistics. These different independent corporate entities coming together make up the Dangote portfolio. So Dangote could have a portfolio that has more than 5 industries in it, because if you count, you have Dangote in refinery, you have Dangote in food, you have Dangote in construction, you have Dangote in what again? Dangote in education, Dangote in corporate social responsibility, having foundations and the like. So the portfolio could be across different industries. And this is what I was trying to explain when we're talking about diversification. I said your diversification strategy or your vision, your mission, your core objective should allow you for diversification so that you can build portfolios, or you can build a portfolio, a strong portfolio. Okay, so if you have a vision that is beyond an industry, it makes it easier for you to cut across industries. But if you have a vision that is just restricted to an industry, the opportunity for growth and diversification also becomes limited. Okay, very, very important. Effective sustainability and corporate social responsibility strategies. These are also core components of corporate level strategies.
Sorry, sir. Hello?
Yes, please go ahead, sir.
Sir, before you move, thank you very much for going back to offer this clarification.
Thank you, sir.
Just one question.
Okay.
You know, diversification through portfolio management, does it have to occur only when perhaps the business, there's a market saturation, or what really drives diversification for a company to grow into this portfolio, to be able to grow to a status that will begin to look at it as one that needs to be managed as a portfolio? What drives that? Is it market saturation, or just the vision of the company, or what? Because if you have gotten a market space, like you have a niche there, and you are growing, you are stable, what could it be that will require this corporate level, corporate level strategy that will now grow the company, to have portfolio? I don't know whether that makes sense, but there's something that is not very clear.
I understand your question. I understand your question.
Oh, you understand it? Fine. Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Yes. Yeah. Yes. So let me just say what I understood. Maybe you could confirm if I understood right or not. So primarily what you're asking is, what are the things that drive portfolio? Okay, what are the things that organization could see, and that means that, okay, we should add to our portfolio, we should increase our portfolio, right? Could that be the question?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. So you've answered one of the questions. You said, could it be market saturation? So that could be one. So market saturation could lead to diversity. Remember, we said when you have unperforming products, okay, when you have products that are underperforming, you can go ahead and invest your money in something else that would yield more dividends. However, this product might be underperforming, but it is now the one with the strongest brand. So you may just don't want to close it out completely. but you may want to leverage on the strong brand of that product to either diversify into developing new products that you can add to that brand, or it can also be because of market saturation, in which case the industry has become a red ocean market. Okay, it has become a red ocean market, and you want to create other opportunities. So when the market is saturated or the industry is saturated, you could look out for other opportunities. Okay, that could be another point. Another thing that could drive to increase in portfolio could be on the basis of unseeded opportunities that have not been identified, but you have been able to identify it and you want to grab it before others come into it. Take, for instance, Elon Musk. Elon Musk went into production of electric cars. From production of electric cars, he went into SpaceX. He is doing things that at the point they are unseeded. They have not been completely unraveled, but he's already gaining dominance in those areas. Take another instance. Of course, by going into electric, one of the things that have made him the richest man as of date is his investment into green technology through electrical productions, going into SpaceX, into the space and all of that. Those were the things that contributed to his portfolio and made him one of the richest men on the planet Earth today. Then you could also take a look at Amazon. Amazon was the first to introduce artificial intelligence in marketing and sales. We have the Alexa today. Alexa, not everybody knows about Alexa, but Alexa is there. So in Amazon stores, according to those that have been there in US and some other countries, the stores are not manned by human beings. The stores are manned by robots, and Alexa is the one that gives the instruction. Okay, so you could find unseeded opportunities. Now, another thing that can add to portfolio could be mergers and acquisitions. You could buy new companies to add to what you have. Okay, you could buy new companies to add to what you have, or merge with others to boost your portfolio. So there are quite a number of things that could lead to adding to your portfolio and advancing to your portfolio. Now, please let me say this, that an organization has big portfolio does not mean that organization by default is profitable. I will repeat this again. That organization has bigger portfolio than others does not mean that by default the organization is profitable. But one of the essence of portfolio is that it is easier to share the risks in such a way that the effect will not be too noticed. It is easier to share risks to mitigate adverse effect of risks. That's one of the importance of a portfolio. But before you step out to add into a portfolio, you must be sure that there is possibility of economies of scale, there is possibilities of market expansion, market growth, and all of that. And even if you have your portfolio market that are shrinking, you should have product that will replace those markets if the industry finally shrinks. Okay, so these are some of the things that could increase portfolio. But remember, like I said, that someone has bigger portfolios, or that an organization has bigger portfolios, does not necessarily mean that that particular group of company is now the richest or the most productive. All right. Okay. Do I have, sorry, Barrister Gabe, does this make any sense?
Well, yes, it does. Thank you very much.
All right, sir.
Yeah,
Right,
thank you.
Thank you, sir. Okay. Do I have any other question? I think I will even prefer to answer questions now than moving forward. If there are areas you don't understand, please feel free to ask me. I will gladly answer. If there are areas that you need more clarity on, I'll gladly answer. Okay, so let me move forward. I trust you can still see my screen. let's move forward and summarize. Important to note, the significance of sustainability and corporate social responsibility in today's business landscape is immense, and their benefits extend to both organizations and society as a whole. Sustainability and corporate social responsibility are two closely related concepts that have gained significant importance in the business world. They both revolve around the idea of responsible business practices that go beyond profit making and consider the impact of a company's action on society and environment. By definition, sustainability refers to the ability of a company to operate and grow in a way that meets the needs of the present without compromising the ability of future generations to meet their own needs. It encompasses economic, social, and environmental dimensions, often refers to as triple bottom line. I was listening to my mentor the other day, and he said something. He said, not all of us have been able to understand the concept of sustainability. And to some of us who say sustainability is just as defined. But he says sustainability is applicable in everything. Sustainability is applicable in everything. And he said something that caught my attention. He said, more of the people that promote sustainability have actually gone a long way to destroy what sustainability stands for. Most of the people that, like the Western world that go talking about sustainability, they've actually gone the length to destroy what sustainability stands for. And he gave quite a number of instances. In the African culture, for instance, can we have someone that can we have representation of the African culture 200 years ago today? In fact, can we have representation of African culture 50 years ago today? So we have had a sustainability issue in terms of cultural heritage. And then they asked the question also, in terms of sustainability, can you give an example of what your lineage, your own heritage, you as a person, what's your own heritage, maybe your family line? Can you give a template? Can you give, do you have anything to represent a transfer or something to show progression in your own background, maybe 100 years ago to where we are now? So while we talk about sustainability, more of the focus has gone to environment only, but it's not just the environment. There are quite a lot of things bordering around sustainability. Okay, there are quite a number of things bordering around. There are businesses that step into a place, destroy their heritages, destroy their culture, destroy their belief system. Okay, but when we now look at what they've done, we say they do not impact the environment negatively. When we say environment, is it just the agricultural component? No. In fact, in health and safety, they will tell you that environment is made up of 4 things. We call them peer. Environment is made up of 4 things. Peer, people, environment, assets, and reputation. People, the environment itself, then assets in the environment, and the reputation. So when we begin to talk about sustainability, and we use these 4 things now to review, do we have sustainability in terms of people? Do we have sustainability in terms of the environment itself? Do we have sustainability in terms of the assets that were there and today are no longer there in the environment? And then we'll talk about reputation. Okay. If you ask me, I would say the Western world have more sustainability than the African world, because they have been able to push all of what they want to Africa, and we are buying everything hook, line, worm, and sinker. But our own perspective that we are supposed to also have sustainability on them, we don't. We don't. should I give you an example? In Nigeria, for a case, if you don't pass English, you don't go to anywhere. But can you go to US and say, if you don't pass Hausa, if you don't pass Yoruba, if you don't pass Igbo, if you don't pass Efik, if you don't pass Ibibio, if you don't pass, the truth is, Africa is still under heavy bondage. And we cannot talk about sustainability in Africa until we are able to identify and come to terms with who we are and come to that point of identity to rediscovering the African perspective and then working by it. Okay? Every single African to leave Africa. Almost every one of us. Why? Because there is no sustainability. You will hear people like Barrister Gabe now will tell you, the days we went to school, we had good facilities. Can we talk about the same things now? There is no sustainability. Okay, there is no sustainability. When we were growing up, my father said all of us must go to public school. And my mother said the public school you went then and the one of today is not the same. My father said, no, it's still the same. Okay. Have you noticed that almost every parent that want good education for his child doesn't want them to go to public school because there is no sustainability. Sustainability is gone in the educational sector. In Nigeria, I don't know about Africa, other African countries, but I hope to pay a visit to Ghana before the year ends. I just want to come and review what is happening in Ghana. I just want to come there. Now that we have partners there, we have extension there. So I will just come and see what's happening there. So sustainability, let us not just look at it in terms of business. If it is not destroying the environment, have you considered, is it destroying the people's belief? Is it destroying the people's perspective? Is it making the people better, or is it destroying? Now, I don't want to talk about this because sometimes when I talk about this, it gets me angry. The education we have in Africa, I hope you know it's not the African education, because there is nothing about Africa in the education that we study. And that's why we lack sustainability. Why the West has been able to move everything they have to Africa is because we learn virtually everything they bring to us. But nobody's learning about the things that we are giving to us. We don't have African education, as it were. African education is not domiciled in the educational system. Starting from the nursery school to the university, we learn everything outside of Nigeria. We learn all the things we learn there, things that originated outside of Africa. And that's why when we grow up, we just want to go to where those things are. We just want to, it's default, okay? It's just by default that you are attracted to in fact, how do they used to put it now? Please permit me to make this digression. In the African parlance, they say maybe those of us that say you can travel to America and they can control you back to your father's house. They have African magic, something like that. So you can be in US, they will control you back. If you refuse to come back, they have a way to control you back to your father's house. That is what is happening in Nigeria, or in Africa. It's a systemic process. It is what the Western world is doing is a harvest of their investment in Africa. They've invested what they know. They invested themselves into Africa. So they harvest the reward of their investment back to themselves. So when we talk about sustainability in the African context, we are still far from it. Very, very far from it. Very, very far from it. Please permit me to move on. Key principles of sustainability. We have environmental responsibility, social responsibility, and economic viability. Environmental responsibility, sustainable businesses aim to minimize their environmental footprint by reducing waste, conserving resources, and adopting eco-friendly processes. Social responsibility, they also focus on promoting fair labor practices, diversity, inclusion, and community engagement. Number 3, economic viability. Sustainability involves maintaining financial stability, profitability over the long term. Benefit of sustainability, you have enhanced reputation, cost savings, competitive advantage, risk mitigation. Please permit me to run through that way. The CSR is a voluntary initiative where companies integrate social and environmental concerns into their business operations and interactions with stakeholders. It involves activities and policies that benefit society beyond companies' core business activities. This is very, very important. This is actually one of the strategic ways to have to get branded within your market. This is one of the most strategic ways. Okay. Key principles of CSR: you have philanthropy, ethical business practices, environmental responsibility, stakeholder engagement. These are the key principles. Benefit of CSR: you have enhanced reputation, customer loyalty, employee engagement, and risk management. These are some of the benefits of that. Now, significance of sustainability and CSR. On the part of environmental conservation, the significance to the society. Sustainability and CSR initiatives help address pressing environmental issues such as climate change, resource depletion, and pollution. And this is almost the only thing they talk about sustainability. Climate change, resource depletion, and pollution. What of the heritages? What of the people's way of life? Huh? These are the only thing that we agree that should be sustained. Climate change, resource depletion, and pollution. These are the three basic things. Whenever we talk about sustainability, the thing to focus on. But there are other critical matters beyond this. Okay. So someone is asking, what's the difference between what you just said on sustainability and ESG? Okay, so sustainability borders around ESG. Okay, in fact, if you want to summarize sustainability, it's just ESG. Okay, environment, social, and governance. That's ESG in a nutshell. ESG is sustainability in a nutshell. Okay, all right. Still on environmental conservation, they contribute to a healthier planet for current and future generations. Benefit for organizations: by adopting eco-friendly practices, organizations can reduce their environmental footprint, save costs through resource efficiency, and enhance their reputation as their responsible stewards of the environment. Now we have social well-being. Significance to the society: CSR programs that support communities, promote diversity, and ensure fair labor practices contribute to social stability and improve quality life. The benefit to organization is that investing in social well-being can enhance employee morale, attract socially conscious consumers, and create a positive brand image, ultimately boosting competitiveness. Then you have the long-term viability. The significance to the society is that sustainable practices and CSR contribute to long-term viability of businesses, ensuring that they remain resilient in the face of economic, social, and environmental challenges. The benefit to the organization is that adopting sustainable strategies help organizations identify and adapt to emerging market trends, reduce supply chain vulnerabilities, and secure access to resources. Still on the significance, we have competitive advantage. The significance of CSR and sustainability on the basis of competitive advantage to the society: sustainable innovation fosters competition, drives product and service improvement, and can lead to breakthroughs that benefit society as a whole. For the organization that embrace sustainability gain a competitive edge by offering innovative, eco-friendly products or services, attracting a broader customer base and investors. Reputation and brand value. Significance of CSR and sustainability to the society on the basis of reputation and brand value. Companies known for sustainability and CSR efforts inspire consumer confidence and encourage other organizations to follow suit. For the organization, a strong reputation for social and environmental responsibility can enhance brand loyalty, increase market share, and attract top talent. Then we have legal compliance. Significant for the society here, sustainability and CSR initiatives often align with legal requirements and regulations, ensuring that businesses operate within the bounds of the law. Benefit for organizations: complying with legal standards reduces the risk of fines, lawsuits, and damage to reputation, promoting sustainable growth of the organization. Then you have the stakeholder engagement. The significance of CSR and sustainability on the basis of stakeholder engagement to the society. Sustainability and CSR promote engagement with diverse stakeholders, including customers, employees, communities, and government, fostering collaborative solutions to societal challenges. The benefits to the organizations: engaging stakeholders enhances relationship, facilitates the exchange of valuable insights, and helps organizations stay attuned to evolving societal expectations. Note, in summary, sustainability and CSR are not only moral imperatives, but also strategic imperatives for businesses in today's world. They provide organizations with numerous benefits, including increased competitiveness, risk mitigation, brand enhancement, and the opportunity to contribute positively to society's well-being and the preservation of the planet. As societal expectations continue to evolve, the significance of these principles will only continue to grow. Now, effective sustainability and CSR strategies. For environmental sustainability, A, resource efficiency. Implement measures to reduce consumption, such as energy and water efficiency programs. B, renewable energy. Transition to renewable energy sources to reduce carbon emission and environmental impact. C, waste reduction. Minimize waste generation and promote recycling and responsible disposal practices. D, sustainable supply chain. Collaborate with suppliers who adhere to sustainable and eco-friendly practices. So if you want to have effective sustainability on environmental basis, these are the approaches you follow. Now we go to the next one, social responsibility. A, community engagement. Invest in local communities through philanthropy, volunteering, and community development projects. B, diversity and inclusion. Foster diversity and inclusion within the organization to create a more equitable workplace. C, employee well-being. Implement programs to support employee health, safety, and work-life balance. D, ethical sourcing. Ensure that products and materials are sourced ethically and without exploitations. Then you have transparency and reporting, which is where part of corporate governance comes. Sustainability A, sustainability reporting. Publish annual sustainability reports detailing environmental, social initiatives, goals, and progress. B, stakeholder engagement. Engage with stakeholders, including consumers, investors, NGOs, to gather feedback and improve CSR efforts. Innovation for sustainability. A, product sustainability. Develop eco-friendly products and services that align with sustainability goals. B, green technologies. Invest in and promote the adoption of green technologies within organization and the industry. Policy advocacy. A, advocacy for sustainable policies. We have NGOs and CSOs that do this. Advocate for government policies and regulations that promote sustainability and CSR. B, industry collaboration. Collaborate with industry peers to drive collective sustainability efforts. That's where conventions comes in. Long-term goals and targets. As part of effective strategies for sustainability and CSR, long-term goals and targets. A, setting ambitious goals. Establish long-term sustainability and CSR goals, such as achieving carbon neutrality or zero waste. B, measuring impact. Implement robust metrics and KPIs to measure progress towards sustainability targets. Risk management. Identifying risks as A, assess and mitigate sustainability-related risks, such as reputational, operational, or supply chain risks. B, crisis preparedness. Develop crisis response plans to address sustainability-related emergencies. Employee training and development. sustainability training. So A, sustainability training, provide employees with training on sustainability and CSR practices. And B, engagement programs, encourage employee involvement in sustainability initiatives and volunteering. In conclusion, corporate level strategy is crucial for determining the overall scope and direction of our organization. It involves decisions that can significantly impact the organization's growth, diversification, and competitive advantage. Thank you so much for your time and your patience.
Dr. Banito, I have a question here.